Hello everyone, I'm Dave Patinoid with Clarks Landing Yacht Sales. Today we're going to talk about ribs, rib boat. Many people we talk to, even myself being in the industry for so long, had very limited knowledge of what truly a rib is or how they perform. Ribs started being made as long as 40 years ago. They are known as the 4x4 of the seas. Why? Because of their ability to handle extreme rough water, exceptionally safe handling, and also became the boat of choice for rescue crews, United States Coast Guard, local and state police departments, Navy SEALs, all have used rib style crafts even to this day. So if those folks are using these style of boats, they have to be safe and they have to be dependable and reliable. About 25 years ago, ribs started to be raced over in Europe. Roughneck, the rib that we happen to represent here, started back in 2007. When the company was started, their technology, their hull design, the lineage of this boat came from offshore racing in Europe. The founders of the company raced these boats in 25-foot to 28-foot size, single twin engines, and conquered the rough seas around Europe and raced. And it actually resulted in winning many national and world championships. About 25 years ago, ribs were becoming so popular that they started to convert them into pleasure style boats and no longer were known as purely search and rescue or law enforcement type boats. Today, you'll find ribs from some manufacturers out there as large as 55 feet. Unheard of, but absolutely amazing. Ribs are also the boat of choice for a lot of yacht tenders. Why? Because of their lightweight, because of their stability, ability to take a lot of people from point A to point B, and also for the reliability and fuel efficiency. One of the most desirable things about a rib is its trackability when it's underway and its stability while it's underway. Many times people have the misconception that ribs are an inflatable boat. That's partly true, but not totally true. If we take a look here at the bottom of the Roughneck, this is a vinyl ester fiberglass boat, just like any normal center console out on the water. The entire hull is molded, as you can see from the double step design, as well as the lifting strikes. This is all derived from the offshore racing lineage of the Roughnecks. This is a type of bottom that you would see on some of today's fastest 100-mile-an-hour performance boats. This boat doesn't do 100 miles an hour, but at 60 miles an hour, this boat is like sitting on your couch in your living room, even in the roughest seas. The biggest advantage of a rib versus a traditional deep V center console are the tubes. These tubes are made from Hypalon. Hypalon is the same material found inside of commercial fire hoses. Strong, durable. If we were to take a sharp object like a screwdriver and push it here and push down on this Hypalon, it would not puncture or rupture. That's how strong the Hypalon is. How long do these tubes last? Well maintained, these tubes can last up to 25 years if properly maintained and taken care of. Sometimes people will ask, what happens if one of the tubes gets punctured? First and foremost, any puncture can be repaired. But what's important to know is that in this tube, there's numerous chambers that are independent of each other. So if you were to go ahead and puncture the tube here, only that one chamber would be affected. The rest of the boat would still be inflated and still be able to get home safe and sound. The biggest benefit of having the tubes around this entire boat is think of it as a huge shock absorber. These tubes, when you go ahead and you take off with a traditional deep V center console, you launch off the wave and you re-enter, and the boat takes 100% of the force of re-entry. With a rib, these act as shock absorbers. You have your 24-degree bottom, which is one of the deepest V's that you can have in an offshore boat. You have that which cuts like a knife through the water. You have the steps which aerates the bottom and gives you your speed. But on the tube, when you re-enter, the water actually hits the tube upon re-entry. I had someone out in this boat not too long ago that had back surgery, significant back surgery, a few years ago. Took them out into Chesapeake Bay. It was probably about 2 to 3 foot seas, and it was like sitting on your couch in your living room. Not only are ribs extremely stable, track extremely well when underway, but also they provide an extremely dry ride. As I mentioned earlier, you have the 24-degree dead rise, but you also have the tubes, which actually when the water is coming up off of the bottom of the hull, the tube helps deflect the water downward to keep you and your passengers dry. Being lightweight, a rib is much more fuel efficient than a traditional deep V center console. Why? Due to its much lighter weight than a conventional center console. Previously, I mentioned that the boats today are specifically made for the leisure market as well. Creature comforts, this is a 33-foot Roughneck, 1010 as I said, has a built-in windlass, which, when was the last time you saw a rib have a windlass? Not too often in boats of this size or smaller. That's one of the luxuries of this boat. Talking about luxury and leisurely seating, this boat can comfortably sit up to 8 people at speed. If you're just doing some lagoon cruising, your entire tube around the entire boat becomes seating for your crew. The way to believe is to contact us at Clarks Landing, and we will go ahead and schedule for a sea trial and go out and show you too what a rib difference makes versus traditional V-bottom. If you'd like to see the Roughneck for yourself, you can come to one of our Clarks Landing locations in New Jersey or Maryland, or you can come visit us at one of the upcoming boat shows. If we're there with the boat show, we will have the Roughneck there.